What's up, everybody? Wellness Week Live. I'm your host, DJ Anthony. How you doing? Yes, I'm a DJ. And today we're talking about it is Cava versus Halal guys. Okay, which one's better? Which one's healthier? So I love them both. So I don't really have, I'm not going to say one's better than the other, but they're different from each other. I think that's obvious. So now if you don't know what Cava is or Halal guys, or, fast food chains or casual chains, they're maybe a step up from fast food, but they are fast food. They're not fine dining. Cava has more locations than Halal Guys. Halal Guys is big in the New York City area where I'm from. Cava is, like I said, they have over 300 locations, but they're both good food. They're not your quintessential, shitty fast food, and they're healthy or healthy-ish. So we're going to break down which one's which and, how it can affect and help your health when you go out to eat, choosing these two options versus maybe the legacy fast food places. And even legacy fast food has healthy options nowadays, but Cava for sure is known as like the healthy place. And Cava's lines, honestly, are out the door oftentimes in many of these locations. So, okay, Cava, Halal Guys. Halal Guys is known for their platters. So you get like rice, some pita bread, some lettuce, some tomatoes, and your choice of chicken or beef, I think it is, and in a tin kind of canister plate. Cava, similar. You make a bowl, and you can have the person behind the counter put in quinoa or rice or lentils or kale, spinach, and you go down the line, like at a Chipotle, you go down the line, they ask you want this, you want that, you want this, you want that. And same thing with the Halal Guys. And so you can put your proteins in there, you have your beef and your chicken at the Cava, and then your vegetables and whatever. So that's kind of the vibe. The portions, so also that's what they're known for, both of these stores. Now, you can get a wrap at Cava, and you can get wraps or gyro type of food. At Halal Guys, they have other offerings, but that's what they're basically known for. Cava is the bowls, and Halal Guys is the platters, which is basically a bowl. And you can eat in, usually people probably, I don't know if they eat in more or deliver more or take out more, but you can eat in both places. Okay, so portions. I would say the portions are pretty similar between Halal Guys and Cava. I don't know. I guess Cava gives you more food. Price, you're going to spend a little under $20 for both a platter or a Cava bowl. Again, they're pretty dead on, almost even there in that sense of portion to price. Restaurants decor, not that really matters. Cava's more wood and more earthy and more kind of like a airy type of, like a vanilla clear type of vibe. Wood seats, very earthy, very clean-esque. Not that Halal Guys is dirty, but Cava's going for like the beige paint, white paint, tan wood, bright, white lights, huge windows that bring in the sunlight. So that's their restaurant's decor, kind of very farm earthy, where Halal Guys is honoring their roots, which is they started off as a food truck in New York City. So you go into the Halal Guys, store or restaurant, and it's bright yellow, bright red, kind of like aluminum table, aluminum seats. You get a sense that you're in kind of a, I don't know, it's like you're sitting in a hot dog stand almost, but they don't serve hot dogs. But you feel like you're sitting in something that's kind of gritty New York. It's clean, it's well kept, and the what do you call it? The franchisees take care of the place, but it's more of you feel like you're in a hot dog or a cart, and that's the whole gist of it. That's why they want you to feel that way, because that's their roots. They started off in a cart. Drink offerings. At Halal Guys, you're going to have your typical, your soda and your water and your seltzer and whatever. The drink offerings at Cava, there's no traditional sodas. It's water, your flavored seltzers, and then your teas on a organic tea station where you can go from the tea fountain, so to speak, the soda fountain, but there's no soda. There's teas in there, hibiscus and whatever, lemonade, fresh lemonade, stuff like that. So very kind of picnicky, earthy, organic vibe. By the way, I eat at both, love both. I'm there, both every week almost. Which one's healthier? Well, Halal guys actually is pretty healthy. It's not shit food, that's for sure. It's not like your fast food joints out there. So halal guys is relatively healthy. I mean, you got your pan fried chicken and your lettuce, tomatoes, and your pita bread. Not the worst thing in the world. But I would say healthier goes to Cava, because Cava, like for instance, Cava, you can pick spinach or kale. Well, at halal guys, you're only getting iceberg lettuce, which is just water essentially. So, but at Cava, you can choose spinach or kale, or you can go with lentils and fried, not fried, no fried. You can go with grilled vegetables and things like that. A lot of hummus, which of course Halal Guys has hummus too. And some of these two stores do have some things that are similar, but Cava is healthier. I think the most garbage thing Cava sells would be like tiny little cookie squares and maybe what do they call that? The falafels, which are fried. And Halal Guys also has falafels, but yeah, so the quote unquote worst thing that Cava has would be fried, which is the falafels. Other than that, everything is like spot on, super healthy. Not that it matters, but there is a type, generally speaking, and yes, there's exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking, there's a type of person that goes into Halal Guys, and there's a type of person that goes into Cava. Now, I'm in the exception because I go to both, but generally speaking, if you're going to Cava, you're probably, not all, but the majority of people that go are women, younger women. They're, 20s, 30s, 40s, like that. Moms. Yes, there's guys there, but for certain, health conscious people are going to Cava. No. Now, Halal Guys, it's mostly, not exclusive to, but it's mostly majority guys, kind of a blue collar feel, like how you doing, what's going on, everyone's polite and nice, but it's mostly guys that go to Halal Guys. And yeah, I get it. I've seen some women at Halal Guys, I think that's just because of the decor and the vibe, not necessarily because of the food. But anyways, it is what it is. Okay, moving on. I would say how to order. Your Cava you can order on an app. Halal Guys, at least the one I go to in Bergen County, you cannot order on an app and pick it up, I don't believe. But Cava you can. Halal Guys, you might want to get on that. It definitely boosts business. And so there are, I think, point systems for both, or there's an app for both, but I think the Cava app is probably a little bit more stout, a little bit more, has more offerings. Could be wrong on that, but and that's it. But I think both are, good options to eat healthy. Halal Guys definitely has a little bit more naughty options, the cookies and the sodas and stuff like that. But and Cava has a greater reach across the country, and where Halal Guys is kind of a New York East Coast thingy. But anyways, both are great. Highly recommend them. Tell me what you think if you eat at one or both. And any questions? Fire away. Thanks. Bye.